Okay, so quick recap. This is our what to post on social media to actually grow your business, hosted by Hey Girl You Can. We have four incredible speakers today that you're going to hear from. We were starting out talking about we want to be able to move the needle in our business. So that's what I want you to be thinking about. What today can I take away that I can implement today that will move the needle in my business? So our first speaker, I'm going to go ahead and pull her up. And I have known Josie, let me tell you, I spent every morning with this girl for like a year. Every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. on the Clubhouse app before we even had a membership. So she's like an OG. Okay. Josie Daigle, she's an organic social media strategist. I've seen her teach a gazillion times. She was one of the first people I thought of when we were putting this panel together. She helps small businesses, nonprofits, and growing brands create content that feels realistic. I want you to hear these words: realistic, intentional, aligned with what their audience actually wants to see, right? Sometimes we're just posting what we want. What do they actually want to see? And so she really specializes in organic social strategy, content planning, community engagement, and she helps owners, like business owners, stop posting just to keep up, but to actually move that needle. And so she's going to share you how to build a social media approach that works with your bandwidth, like what you actually can do, not against it. So Josie, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to see you on camera. It's been a long time coming, I guess. I definitely miss our Clubhouse days and the conversations that we've all had there. I unfortunately am having some
I
bandwidth issues. Can you hear me okay?
can hear you okay. Do you need
Okay, I'm getting
to
some
screen
noise.
share?
Okay, so I was going to, but I think I'm going to hold off on it because of the bandwidth notifications that I'm getting that Zoom's giving me right now. um, just so that everyone can hear me clearly. Is that okay?
Yep, I will make you a co-host if you want
Great.
to. You can, and if you don't want to, it's totally up to you.
Okay, awesome. Um, yeah, I'll hold off for now. If I feel like I need to grab it for some inspiration to really drive the message home, then I will. But thanks again for having me. I look forward to hearing the other speakers as well. Honored to go first here. Um, like Tara mentioned, I have been in marketing now for almost 10 years. I've worked with small businesses, I've worked with nonprofits, coaches, kind of all around in different industries. So I've been able to really grasp, um, the basics and the fundamentals of bandwidth, what people can manage. Sometimes people come to me and they're saying, hey, like, I know I need to be here. I don't have the time. Can you do it for me? Or can you build out the strategy for me? And then I have other people that come to me, they're like, I have the time. I just don't know how to do what I need to do effectively. So what we're going to talk about today is really building a social media strategy that fits your life. So whether you are a full-time business owner or pursuing a new career full-time, and wearing a lot of different hats within your company. Marketing is a branch of that, and social media is a part of your marketing strategy as a whole. So, we'll talk about building a social media strategy and kind of what that looks like within, your bandwidth. So, and identifying kind of how to figure out your bandwidth. So starting off, again, I apologize for not having slides. I might just distribute them after, and Tara, you can attach them to the recording, but we'll just kind of roll with it for now. So identifying your strategy, there's kind of a series of questions that I need you to ask yourself to kind of figure it out as a whole. The first question is, how much time do I actually have? I am not an expert on time management or anything along those lines, but I love helping people make the most use of the time that they have. So if you look at your yesterday, look at your Tuesday and Monday and kind of put timestamps on everything. Like, when did I pick up my phone and scroll social media, for example? And how much time did you spend doing that? Were you in transit to go to work? Were you waiting for an appointment? Were you transitioning in or out of work? Kind of figuring out those pieces where you're already on social media, personally, professionally, and capturing that. And then saying, okay, how many of those minutes every day can I actually work on my business goals within social media? This is not a, oh, I want to be on my social media for 2 hours a day. This isn't like goal setting. It's just like, how much time do you actually have? Is it just 20 minutes? That's fine. Is it 2 hours? Even better. Another question that I always have people ask themselves is, what should your social media help your business do? Are you using it as a like bulletin portfolio type of thing where you are just blasting out your offers and your services and the work that you've done? Are you doing it for awareness? You're trying to bring brand awareness, educate people on what you do. Are you trying to build trust? Are you trying to get leads? Um, and sometimes it's multiple things, and that's okay too. But again, if you only have a limited amount of time, we really kind of want to focus on one of those for the sake of this session. And then the third question that I always make sure people ask themselves is, where does your audience pay attention? And where is in the form of like what social media platform? So not where you think they are, or maybe they're hanging out on Facebook, or they're on Facebook, but they're also on Instagram. Figure out that user persona and where they're actually paying attention. There's lots of people that are scrolling TikTok aimlessly, but are they paying attention and converting? And there's tons of research and data and assessments that have been done that you can really figure out between your age demographic, location demographic, all of that kind of stuff. You can figure out like where your target audience is. I say pay attention, but we can also say converting. And then you want to make sure that you're there. So what we do after we've kind of answered those three questions, I'll use the example of, how much time do you have? 1 hour a day. Just You'll be surprised at how much time you actually have when you look back at and timestamp your day, how much time you're spending scrolling social media, and if you can take half of that time and be productive. So I always say, I use the example of 1 hour a day. And then what should my social media help do for my business? I say trust, showcasing work. And then where does my audience actually pay attention? We're just going to use Instagram for this example. Once we have those three answers, we can kind of go back to that focus part of the session where we know kind of where our audience is, we know what they're doing, but let's like focus on what I want social media to do for my business. And there's typically like 4 or 5, some people have 6 different areas that you can focus on. But for the sake of this, we'll talk about 5. There's the awareness component, where you're trying to get people to discover you and your brand and your business. So you're trying to reach new audiences, usually new followers. There's trust, where you're showcasing your expertise, your credibility, that kind of stuff. There's inquiries, where again, this can be for new, it can be for existing followers, but you're trying to start conversations and invite potential clients to reach out to you, to connect with you. And then there's sales, which I know that that's very important for all of us, regardless of what kind of industry you're in. You're trying to get people to convert. You're trying to get them to donate or to buy something or join a membership, sign up for your services, things like that. And then I have it as a own focus point, but it really can fall into all of them. Relationship building, which is, you're staying visible, you're staying connected, you're working both with your existing customers
Charlie,
and community and your new ones.
where's Charlie? Charlie, come up
Somebody
here.
has their self unmuted. If you can make sure you're muted, that would be great.
I'm so sorry.
That's
No worries. Happens to all of us. So those are kind of 4 or 5 areas that you can focus on when, again, we're asking ourselves those first 3 questions. How much time? What should my social media help my business do? And then where does your audience pay attention? Kind of pulling it all together, because it's also really hard to help you guys all build out a full-on strategy in just 10 or so minutes. You're going to kind of have to get creative and do a little bit of homework to make it fit for you. But pulling it together with the answers that I kind of teased out earlier, if you have 1 hour a day, you're going to focus on Instagram because that's where your audience can convert, and you want to build trust, show your work while also building out that community or building out those relationships. I always focus on the time that you have and where you should spend that time. And I know that I use the example of like replacing your scrolling time. And some people can say, well, it's difficult for me to create content and publish content when I'm in the mode of just like scrolling. But it really can, the creative process of that can be built in. It's just about using the right tools within. Again, I'm going to use Instagram as an example. So if you have an hour a day, I always say to split up your time into three areas: being social, being creative, and then I like to use the term being a fly, like being a fly on the wall. For being social, it is exactly that. Instead of aimlessly scrolling, I always encourage people to spend a chunk of their time being social on social media, commenting on posts, supporting others, asking great questions in comments. Being an active part of any community online is good for you for best practices. You want to be social on social media, but it also brings people back to your profile. Think about when people comment on your content. Again, on Instagram, we want to like go and see their profile. Who is this that just commented? Let me go check them out. So it works both ways. You need to be social on social media. I will also share, for those of you guys that are interested, some like quick tips on being social and how to organize that component because it is such a large part of a social media strategy. Instagram has a great feed feature right now where if you are scrolling on social media and you click on like the name Instagram at the top of your feed, you can actually filter what kind of content you're seeing based on if it's content that's shared just from accounts you follow or your close friends list, or maybe it's favorites. I forget how they have it divided off the top of my head. But that's a great place to start because now you're not seeing all of the inspo content and you're not seeing all of the posts that are going to be telling you how to, what to do more for your business. But you can really focus on the people you already follow there and put some intentional effort behind engaging with them. They'll come to your profile, they'll want to learn more. You can reinvoke that community type of mindset and that social mindset that everyone is on social media for. Um, so that's be social, being creative. That's where you can brainstorm. You can save inspiration posts. You can have notes open on your phone, whatever works for you. But spend 20 minutes of that time looking at content that's on your feed and thinking about ways that you can replicate that type of content. Or if you have the time and they'll have the means, you work on that content. You work in your drafts folder, on Instagram or on any platform or just in your notes on your phone, but spend a third of your time being creative. And then I say be a fly. And that's when you can really like look at your competitors, look at accounts you aspire to be, see what they're doing, what's working, what's getting good engagement, that kind of stuff. So just to kind of wrap it up, we talked about some questions to ask yourself. We talked about how to split up your time that you have every day. We talked a little bit about the different areas of focus, whether it's trust or awareness or relationship building. And then we talked about figuring out what platform to focus on. And I encourage people to focus on one platform. You should have a user persona ideally, or an ideal client and consumer persona that really can focus, I should say, on a platform that they're on. And lean into that. If you want to repurpose content elsewhere, you're more than welcome to, but I encourage you to spend your time focusing on just, one platform in the beginning until you can kind of take the training wheels off there. So,
All right.
that's my best, Tara. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So here's a couple things. I want you to put in the chat one. We're going to focus on one takeaway from each speaker. What's one takeaway? One though, oh, that made me think different. This is something I could implement. And then Josie, how can people work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the easiest ways here is if you're curious about like the focusing on one thing, I did build out a focus finder quiz a few weeks ago, and I think it really aligns with this session. So I can drop a quick Google form, and then you'll get the results to your quiz after. Um, and then you'll also have my email contact information. But otherwise, if you just want to reach out via email, coastalclaritymarketing@gmail.com is the best way. And we can talk about, what it is that you need to take your social to the next level.
Okay, great. And guys, I'm going to have Josie put her stuff in the chat so you can find her. If you want to put that quiz in the chat, that's great. Again, put in the chat what your one takeaway was. A few people are saying focusing on one platform. And I think with that, remember, she started it with where is your person living? So it's not just necessarily the platform you like best, but where's your ideal person hanging out? That's the platform that you would want to focus on. So this is great. Okay, so I'm going to pull up our next speaker. I'm super excited for you to learn from Jen. She is a member of Hey Girl You Can. I got introduced to her through my good friend, Jess. And so she spoke at our last panel, and let me tell you, her energy, I'm like, could I live in her pocket? She
Yes.
just has the best energy. And Jen B, let me tell you a little bit about her. She believes that visibility isn't about being louder. It's about being more you. So right away, you love her when you hear that sentence, right? Just being you. And so through speaking, coaching, community, she helps women entrepreneurs own their worth. We all need to do that. Share their message and build a business that creates both impact and income. And Jen, you don't even know this, but that was my theme this year that I took was impact and income. So I feel like there's an alignment there. And she did not put this, but I do want to plug her. If you live in the Colorado area, she does do live events in anywhere within the Denver drivable area. So you may want to connect with her just for that. I know she's not talking about that today, but if you can be in her space physically and get to her events, even better for you. Okay. So Jen, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Tara, for having me today. My friends, whether you are in the East Coast, Central, wherever you are, I'm going to celebrate you for showing up today. And I'm going to put some hearts on the screen. And if you can join me on doing the same thing wherever you are, that's pretty awesome. Because here's the thing. We're talking all about showing up today. And you're here. So you must be showing up. Now, with that being said, what most of my clients will tell you about me is the fact that I will lovingly hold space for you, but I'm also going to lovingly hold you to your ask. And I'm expecting that if you are here today, you want to do the damn thing, right? Okay. So one of my little truth sayings that I like to say is a business that we don't talk about is called a hobby. Hobbies are fine. I just don't expect them to pay my bills. So today I want to create a structure, help you create your own unique structure to help you to be more consistent on social media. And thank you, Josie, for going right before me because I'm going to leverage some of the things that you shared. So you're going to probably hear multiple different things that sound kind of similar today, which is one of the joys of being on a panel. But my friend, it's all about consistency. And I remind my clients all the time that somebody else's consistency may not be your consistency. So if somebody's super active on social media like I am, posting 6, 7, 10 times a week, but for you, you're kind of maybe at 1 or 2, let's not go to 10. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a document in the chat. It's the one that I'm going to work off of with you, but I do want to make sure that you do have that. And as we create this unique structure that works for you, I'm going to talk about 3 types of posts. Now, if you are an overthinker in the room, can you just do me a favor and drop overthinker in the chat? And it's okay to own it. Our brain's job is to keep us safe. And so if you're an overthinker, this might be a really good tool for you today as you create that consistent social media plan. Now, I do believe that social media needs to be aligned. So if you're in this room, I'm going to guess that you either feel comfortable being on social media, you're growing on social media, or at least you're curious about social media. So my friends, the 3 types of social media posts that I would recommend, and again, one of the things I hear often before I put up my screen is, Jen, I'm showing up all over the place, but nobody's buying. Have you ever felt that way? Just drop a hashtag yes in the chat. I'm showing up all over the place, but nobody's buying. Or number 2, Jen, I don't want to feel like I'm salesy. Okay, if you've ever felt that on social media, just drop a yes in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to give you the formula really quickly, my friends, for how we make sure that we build relationships on social media, but relationships that create impact and income. So again, a business we don't talk about, it's called a hobby. Hobbies are fine. They just don't pay our bills. So let's show up. Number one, based on similar to what Josie just said, I want you to just take an assessment. Honestly, you don't need to share this with anybody. If you were to ask yourself right now, how many times you're posting on social media, how many times you're connecting, how many times you're building relationships on social media a week, how many times would that be? So just drop that number in the chat. How many times are you consistently posting on social media a week right now? Okay. Now, regardless of that number, again, if you're here, I'm expecting that you got some curiosity, you want to grow, you want to scale, you want to do the darn thing. So I'm going to ask you the second question, which is, how many times do you want to post on social media? And what we're looking for is not, again, a drastic change. It is simply a 1%. I'm a big fan of a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It talks a lot about the power of 1. So if you're posting 1 time a week now, maybe your stretch is 2. If you're posting 6 times a week, maybe your stretch is just to be consistent. Okay? So being real with yourself. Now, the 3 types of ways we get to connect with our clients, I'm not going to go super deep on this. I am going to toss a lead magnet in the chat here after I'm done. You want to make sure that we're relatable. In other words, we're approachable. This is what I call your engagement post. Do you like coffee or tea? Are you a morning person or a night owl? You're just playing with me. You're just hanging with me. Number 2, your educational post. In other words, that's where you get to shine as a subject matter expert in the things that you do. That's your credibility post. And then number 3, your promotional post, because somebody's constantly seeing you and you got great visibility, but they have no clue how to buy from you. That's still called a hobby, my friends. So your promotional or CTA post. Now, what I want to give you next is really that structure where every day, every week, every month, you're not just sitting around waiting to get inspired to figure out what it is that you want to post about. And oftentimes when we create routine and structure in our business, in our lives, and new habits, we're much more likely to be successful because motivation's fleeting, but structure stays. So what I'm going to share with you is a little AI prompt that I like to share with my clients that just starts like this. First off, we need to identify the number of times you want to post on social media per week. I'm just going to call it 3, just to make it simple right now. Second thing we want to make sure that we include in this AI prompt is that there needs to be an educational post, a promotional post, and an engagement post. That is your relationship builder. That is how we go from being visible to converting and from feeling salesy to building relationships. Number 3, just because I like to make it fun, what are you? What do you do? Are you a business coach? My last name's not B. There's a lot of B puns in my world right now. So for me, I would probably say, give me something B inspired, or what is it that really lights you up? When you take a moment, and I'm going to drop this in the chat just that it's super easy for y'all to copy and paste this, if you so wish. Okay? What that's going to give you is an acronym. I've got clients who use 3-letter acronyms, 4-letter acronyms, or 5-letter acronyms. That all depends on how often you want to post on social media. For me, my tagline is you are worthy of impact and income. So hence, I use the word worth, WORTH, quite a bit. For me, on Mondays, it's my engagement post. It's my how are you going to win, win this week. Tuesday is my credibility post. That's an opinion post that I put out. I also talk about reframing money mindset. That's my R for my Wednesday. My Thursday is testimonial Thursday, and my H is my hype Friday. Rinse, repeat, same thing, different week, not overthinking. Okay? So I just gave you a little template here for you to put your thing. Again, if it's 5 times a week, great. If it's 3, please stick with 3, and let's make sure we're consistent there before we quote unquote level up. Okay? So just to cut this short here, make sure, again, we got our plan. One of the rules of habits, my friends, is to make this obvious. So once you create your plan, what I'm going to ask you to do is to print out your plan. Go ahead and put it on your wall. Go ahead and put it on your desk. And that way, when you wake up on Tuesday, maybe you're not feeling super inspired, you still know that Tuesday's got a purpose. You've already identified it as a promotional post, an educational post, or an engagement post, and you have the ability to just go ahead and plug and play. Okay? So that is what I have for you. Create your structure, create your framework, be consistent, and the rest will come, my friends. With that being said, if you would like to grab the complete guide regarding making social media aligned, easy, and fun, I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the chat. And then number two, I am a big fan of connecting beyond speaking. So if you would like to grab a quick connect with me, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just to know each other as entrepreneurs, I would love that opportunity. With that being said, thank you for your time, Tara. And remember, my friends, you've got a business, not a hobby. So it's time to show up.
The first time I heard Jen say that, I loved that. That if you're talking about your business but no one's buying, you have a hobby. I was like, oh yeah, how many of like totally that lands with you, right? So put in the chat your one takeaway. Obviously, Josie posted her stuff, Jen posted her stuff. I would recommend that you grab both of theirs. And I love this free roadmap to consistent visibility. If you're watching the replay, we'll have this all in the notes below that you'll be able to get. So don't worry if you're watching the replay or watching the YouTube. You'll have access to that. But put in the chat your one takeaway, something that she said that you're like, okay, yes, I can do this. I can implement this, because we're going to have your 4 different things, and then we're going to choose one that you're going to implement like tomorrow. Okay. So that you have a change in your business, one thing. So go ahead, put that in the chat really quick. If you are not a member of our community and you're kind of like, I don't even know how I found this panel or how I'm here. Hey Girl You Can, we are a community of women. We are all building our businesses together. My background is that I have had a business for 28 years. I started it in college, scaled it through different seasons of my life, raised my daughter as a single mom on working a full-time business, realized that I just had a lot of skills that took me a lot of time to learn how to do. And if I could help shorten that for other people, that was going to be great. And so in our community, you connect with women like Jen. We have monthly networking where we get together and you can meet each other, expand your businesses. We do co-working. So next week we have a co-working session coming up. We also have live coaching, so you get some one-on-one. And then every month we have a class that grows you or grows your business. And so the one coming up in August, if you become a member, is going to be how to create a referral system so that you're getting referrals every single time automatically. I realized it was something that I did early on in my business because I was afraid to talk to strangers, but never actually taught other people how to do that. So that's what you're going to learn next month. So if you're like, I need that, that's a little bit more. And I'll put the link in the chat so you can find out a little bit more about our community. Okay, so love the acronym idea. I know, I love that she just said, I love her acronym. And how many of you guys love how she makes it every day you have something to post? It just makes it so you don't have to think about it, right? It's so easy to remember. I would say, Jen, I know you talk a lot about social media. You should also talk about branding. You're very good at branding. Okay, so we're going to pull up our next speaker. So kind of do a little shake. Sometimes when you sit for a long time, you get a little, so do a little shake if you need to do a little shake. If you need to get up and kind of spin around, that's okay. But I'm going to introduce you to Richelle. Let me pull her up. And Richelle, you are, I think I made you a co-host. Did you need a screen share or no?
Actually, yes, I will do a
Okay, let me
screen share
make you a
eventually.
co-host just in case you need it. If you need it, you need it.
Awesome.
But let me tell you guys a little bit about her. This is really interesting, engineer turned entrepreneur.
Mhm.
But what's really cool, and if you think about how an engineer's brain works, this makes a lot of sense to me. She studies what makes businesses endure. And so she combines AI with business principles. And that helps you build customer acquisition systems that are going to attract better leads and then convert those leads into customers. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, Richelle, and pass it on to you.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And just like Tara mentioned, this is my first time in the Hey Girl You Can community, but I'm very excited to be here. And I am an engineer turned entrepreneur, and I have a number of different business ventures. But one of the things that really stood out to me is that there are some businesses that can last through recessions. They can last through pandemics. They can last through changes in consumer behavior. They can last through a lot of different changes in society, but yet the business essentially will not die. And so what are those things that are enduring that we can copy and paste into our business today? And so a lot of times we can't apply exactly because, we do have technology and we have the benefit of social media, which obviously is why we're on this call today. But we can take those same principles and apply them to what it is that we're doing. So if you're a woman business owner that has something valuable to sell, but you feel like you need a more reliable way to turn attention into actual customers, then you're going to want to actually listen to this. The two previous speakers were excellent. Now, I am not a social media guru by any means at all. I am a scientist. I have a PhD. I'm a nerd. The glasses are for real, right? But there are different things that I've learned along the way that really allow you to take all that energy and effort and get more than one payoff for every action that you take. And one thing that I'm not sure was explicitly mentioned, but the whole point of being on social media is absolutely for visibility, but we definitely want to have those persons enter our, let's call it our actual world, which in this case in 2026 is mostly our email list because we don't own the platforms that we're showing up on, but we do own our email list. So that is our way of building that moat, and that would be the equivalent of an enduring business in 2026. So I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page, that we are showing up for visibility, but it does have to convert. And so what I'm going to talk about today is all about making sure that those people that do enter your world, that you get the most effectively bang for your energy buck, right? So how can I be a good steward of not just my financial resources, but my energy resources as well? Okay. And so with people join our email list or our social media or any sort of networking activity, offline, online, or anywhere, we want those people to be consistently moving towards purchasing. But if they're not, one thing you may recognize is you may not actually need more leads. You just need to stop treating every lead like they're the exact same person who needs the exact same version of you and your business. And so if you think about what normally happens, normally somebody downloads a free resource, and I have one too. I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat for you. But that person, they join your email list and they, may be able to get some welcome emails. Maybe there's a sales message, but ultimately everyone that joins gets the same offer as everyone else. But let's say there's a woman who discovered you yesterday. She's not necessarily in the same place as the woman who followed you last year, or that particular, let's say, off the rails post that you put out that was maybe a little more raw, a little more authentic. And so they don't necessarily need the same version of you, but they all can take advantage of your services. So the curious person is not necessarily the same as the ready to buy person. And so when a woman needs education, that's not the same as a woman who's just looking for the checkout. Like, I'm ready, like, I don't want to break my nail trying to press buy, right? And so we want to slow down the person that is ready to go, but we also don't want to rush the person that needs a little more nurturing. So that's really what we're talking about today. And I am a scientist, so forgive the data. But this isn't just my opinion. The research firm McKinsey, they found that 71% of consumers expect personalized interactions from businesses. And even if we're small or micro businesses, that doesn't mean that doesn't apply to us, right? So 76% of people become frustrated when that doesn't happen, when they feel like they're just a number. And the whole point about social media, I follow a gentleman called Gary Vee, and he said social media is now interest media. So people are following what they're interested in, not just what is on social. So as we're tapping into different interests, we really want to make sure that we're very aligned there. So that means a challenge for small business owners is, how do I personalize the experience for people that are entering my world without having to manually interview every single person who enters my world, right? And so that's where this strategy that's designed as a quiz, it becomes incredibly useful. So stay with me, because before we finish, I'm going to show you how one quiz can do 3 jobs inside your business. And it can really help you understand who your potential customer is, sort through them based on what they need, and direct them towards the right offer and the right next step in your business. And so I'm even going to open the exact resource that you're going to get if you choose to opt in. So you don't have to see what's behind the email wall necessarily. I'll show you exactly what that is. Inside that process is basically how we can use AI to turn one offer into 4 distinct customer pathways without spending days on end staring at blank screens and trying to event these questions and all that, right? So, but before I open up that resource, and I did go ahead and drop that link in the chat, I just want to share a very quick story. So, when I first started thinking about building my business in a more systematic way to generate leads, I was like, man, I want what everybody else wants. I want people to discover my work. I want to bring them into my world, introduce them to the way that I think, and eventually give them opportunity to buy, because that's why we're all here, right? So naturally, I started thinking about lead magnets. What can I give them? What would make somebody feel like, oh yeah, absolutely, I'll give you my email address for that? What would give them an opt-in? But I eventually realized that getting an email address wasn't necessarily the most important decision, because I don't want an email list full of just bloated people that don't actually want what I have, right? So the most important question is what happens after that potential customer or that lead arrives into my world, right? If I don't know why they're there, what problems they're trying to solve, and how ready they are to act, then I kind of have to guess what they want to hear. So I may have captured the lead, but I haven't learned enough to actually serve them well, which means that I can't sell appropriately, right? Because selling is serving. Okay. And so that really was the whole shift. And so this quiz is not simply like, hey, I just want to collect a bunch of email addresses. It's like, how can I have my business help that person make better decisions? And so my consulting angle is called asset architects. So we're trying to build different assets in our business. And so we're just architecting those different assets together so we don't have to continue on the hamster wheel. Okay. And so a lot of people are, how can I get more attention? So more visibility, more views. But an asset architect, they ask a different question. It's what can I build once that will continue creating value inside my business? And excuse me, my baby is knocking on the background. Mommy's on a call, baby. So real life. And so we want our customer to become an intelligence asset. We want that quiz to become a segmentation aspect and our entire funnel to become a messaging aspect for us. So we basically want to have our whole system to not just give offers, but really be a sales routing asset. So it doesn't just attract people, but it helps us understand who's arrived and what should happen next. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and open this resource. I'm going to share my screen here. Let me just do that. Oh, somebody wants to join. All right. Let's see here. And please don't judge the number of tabs that I have open, okay? All right. Yes, I am a nerd and I definitely have 438 tabs open. So forgive me. But if you go ahead and opt in, you'll be introduced to this system that I call, again, AI Quiz to Cash. And it's literally exactly what it sounds like. So these are 10 AI prompts that really create an engaging, profit producing, and prospect sorting quiz so that you can grow your own email list. And yes, I'm a scientist, so there are clickable links and all the things inside this doc. But essentially, what you're doing is you're saying, hey, I have my lead magnet. And hi, everybody. Yes, baby. Everybody can see you. Mommy's talking to the people. Hi, everybody. Yes, baby. Now you see why I have headphones on. Yes, toddler mode. But basically, what we want is we want to have the value of our quiz. We want it to be AI assistance in our lead gen. All right. Buggy, mommy's talking to the people and I only have 10 minutes. So you got to sit down there. Can you play down there, please? Buggy, go down there, please. All right, we're four. Yes, and it's summer break, like Tara said. All right. So basically, the whole idea is how do we personalize at scale? And so there is a clickable what do you call this chapter list of chapters? Sorry, I'm a baby, so I'm getting all distracted here. But basically, it's just a series of prompts, and all you do is copy and paste each prompt, tell them type of quiz, target audience, so forth and so on. So it makes it super simple. There's nothing crazy that you have to do. It just makes it very to the point. And the whole idea is that by the end of this, you will identify what offers you want each of those segments in your new list to be able to see. So somebody can see offer number 1 first, but someone else can see offer number 3 first. And so using Claude, ChatGPT, whatever your LLM model of choice is, you can really have a very hyper personalized experience based on your customer avatars. So I think someone's mentioned for customer avatars prior to now. So make sure that you've gone through all the sessions of having a creative brief and really understanding who your who is. And if you need help with that, I'm sure one of the other ladies can certainly help you with that. I'm a little bit of a techie, but certainly I spend a lot of time in marketing as well. But the whole idea is not just personalized so that you can sell, it's really to personalize your offers so that you can serve your audience very, very well. All right. So I'll stop sharing there. And just to wrap this up, at the end of the day, this quiz produces 4 customer categories. And I want you to think of them as 4 pathways. So they're just not like a cute personality test like from BuzzFeed back in the day. These are categories that really makes it valuable based on what happens next for the customer. So for each category, you should be able to answer, what does this person need right now? What's preventing them from moving forward? how ready are they to act, and what is the most appropriate next step that that you can offer them, right? And so that can be a low-cost digital product, that can be your course service, right? Or it could just be an invitation to a one-on-one offer or something like that. So basically, the whole idea is that this is how you can begin applying this today. So you don't have to sort by brainstorming clever quiz titles. Buggy, I'm almost finished, okay? Yes, you can play with this. Go ahead. We can call daddy shortly. Give me just 1 minute. Mommy's almost finished. All right. So basically, you don't have to know everything about somebody before you can confidently recommend things to them. It's about really hyper targeting. What is their problem? What is that avatar that I want to segment my audience into? And then really having a curated, structured introduction into your business. So just to sum this up, obviously cash isn't going to rain from the sky because you just put a quiz into your funnel. But the quiz really is that diagnosis mechanism and a pathway that creates movement and alignment whenever someone reads or enters your world. So if you'd like to build this out for yourself in your own business, you can click that link and it's totally free. And you'll receive that entire document with the list of prompts and trainings. And there's even a video walkthrough that shows you how to do that. So with that, I just want you to remember you may not actually need more leads coming into your world. You may just need a better way to understand who's actually coming in and how to direct them to what it is that you already offer. And so I think a strategic quiz is a great way to do that because it can help you understand your potential customer. It can sort through them according to what it is that they need and then direct them towards what's the most appropriate next step already within your world. And we're in 2026, so let AI do a lot of that work for you. It doesn't do the work on your behalf, but it does make your judgment that much more applied and useful so that you can just do more in the time that you already have. So this is how we can use AI to turn a quiz into cash.
I love it. How many of you are like, I came here today and that made it worth it just to get this quiz? So if you did not grab it, you want to do that. And I love how real life, I mean, this is the whole thing in Hey Girl, You Can, right? Like we're all women. Most of us are juggling multiple things, moms, not moms, other careers, but we're all just working to build these businesses, right? And so I will say you do want to find your vibe. And you're like, if this is my vibe, then this is a great place for you to hang out at. All right. You do need to find people that
Absolutely.
you're like, yeah, this is me. Because I built my business and I was a single mom, like raising my daughter the whole time. So I remember her like sitting under my desk on my lap, clawing on me. Like I'm like, yep, totally get that.
Yep, summer camp finished. So
Yep,
there we go.
summer is like a crazy time. All right. So guys, I want you to put in the chat your aha moment if you grab the quiz. Now, the other thing we'll do before we finish up is I will show you how to save the chat before we're done today. If you're watching the replay, all of this will be in the notes. So you don't need to worry about that. You're going to have that in your replay and access to all of that. But put in the chat your one takeaway, your aha. What did you get from Richelle's session? We're going to dive right into our very last speaker. But again, if you need to shake it up, spin around, because I know sitting sometimes for a long time. And I want to make sure you're getting everything that she's saying, because each of these women was selected for a very specific reason, because they're bringing you something slightly different. Okay. So I don't want you to miss anything on here. All right, so let's talk about Teagan. All right, let's talk about what she's got here. So she is a Perth photographer and a marketer with a decade behind the camera, which actually includes 10 years of building her own wedding photography business. What she's kind of pivoted into is being more of a content strategist for global brands. And she's working on her first book, so that's exciting. She'll soon be an author. But she's very obsessed with one thing: using AI to do the boring bits, which all of us are like, yes, that's what we want, right? So that you can spend more of your energy actually being a human online, being what makes you you. All right. So again, get ready to take notes. Teagan, I'm going to pass it over to you. Do you need to screen share? I think I made
Yes,
you.
I do.
Okay, let me make you a co-host.
Thank you.
And
Only
then
because
just
it's like
I will
1 o'clock in the
check.
morning here in Australia, so I
Oh
need
my
like a
gosh.
memory.
No, you are totally good. You are totally good. Let me turn it over to you.
Thank you. Hi, so my name's Teagan. Hold on, let me see if this is gonna work. Hold on, just entire screen. 2 seconds. Is that working? No. Where has everyone gone? Hello?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, cool. Hold on, let me just go window. No, entire screen. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Sorry.
I'm totally laughing here because somebody put in the chat, Valerie put, thank you, Richelle. It makes so much sense to personalize offers. I, as a consumer, can't stand when I get marketing emails about an event or a product that I've already purchased, treating me as a brand new customer. And I just wrote back, I think you might be getting my emails. So there
Okay,
you go. All
that's
right. Are
not
you good,
working,
Teagan?
but that's
Okay.
okay.
Are you not able to
Um,
screen share? Is that what's happening?
I'm gonna have to get out and get back in, but that's all right. I'm just gonna have to read it off
Okay.
my own screen. But anyway, sorry, like I said, it is 1 o'clock in the morning here, so I'm a bit of a space
Totally
cadet
good.
at the moment. 2 seconds. I'm just gonna get that up there. All right, perfect. All right, yeah, like Tara said, I am a photographer and videographer with over 10 years of experience. I've got my own wedding, had my own wedding business for 10 years. And then I got so burnt out, ridiculously burnt out, to the point where I just went offline for like 12 months. I had a lot of grief, a lot of trauma, total identity shift. And I went back into marketing with global brands, like Tara said. And then in that time space, I like regulated my nervous system. I started dating the love of my life. I pursued my book, which also meant getting back online. And that to me was like, oh my God, I'm like this completely different person. I built a community of like 10,000 people at that point. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to get back in and have this whole like, hi, I'm someone new coming in. And so I wanted to make it fun. I wanted to make it juicy. I wanted to make it delicious. I wanted to make it all the things. And I wanted to take the boring bits out and pretty much, outsource that to AI as much as possible. And by doing that, I used trial reels. Trial reels have been absolutely fundamentally amazing for me. Even someone who hadn't been online for over 12 months and came back in, only in the last 30 days have I been doing it like religiously. And in that time, it's gone up to 1.2 million views, 1,200 new followers, viral beyond my like average engagement. And that's all from using trial reels. And I will have like a document at the end of this that will be super beneficial and probably better than my rambling. But if you guys don't know what a trial reel is, so it's basically a normal reel of what you would normally make on Instagram. You just toggle the trial reel and it's shown to non-followers first. So not your existing audience, total strangers, which can be at first a bit like disheartening when you're looking up and there's like 10 views and you're like, what did I do wrong? But it takes the pressure out of it as well because it's low stakes. It's so perfect that it doesn't need to be perfect, that it doesn't need to be planned, and it doesn't live on your grid unless you want it to as well. So I think that fundamentally that was the thing that I really loved about it, one, coming back into social media. And it's, just that to relieve that pressure, because I feel like a lot of people do feel that pressure when we're posting online, or what to post or how often to post and whatnot. And everyone that's spoken before me, like absolutely amazing advice and everything when it comes to doing what works for you and finding the method in the madness, I guess, that works in your platform and your capacity and your bandwidth. And I think trial reels for me was perfect for that because I was posting like 2 a day and I still do that now. And to be honest, I'll be completely transparent, even though there's been millions of views. Some of them flop. They get like 10 views and I'm like, oh, what? But it's data and it's put the fun back in social media for me. And it's made it less of this pressure cooker of like, oh my God, what do I post? When do I post? And just fucking around and finding out really and putting it out there and seeing what lands, what doesn't, because it's all data at the end of the day. So hold on, let me go back into my little document. Sorry guys, it's where did you go? There we go. Yeah. And then so when I first jumped back into it, I was like, I don't really want to restart again from the like start filming myself. I had so many like photo shoots from a year ago when I was running my business and so chronically online. So what I would recommend for you guys as well, if you want to follow this method, is to raid your archives. You've already got a gold mine of content ready to go out there, and especially for trial reels. So like cheersing your girls, traveling, making coffee, and if you do want to actually film it from like the start and start fresh, vlog your day. Just run around with a bloody tripod and make your bed, making your coffee, sitting on a couch, getting in the car. Like the Monday life is what people eat up more on social media. And then obviously pairing that with words or captions or voiceovers that are to your target audience. Because for me, like I said, had all this content. So I just I sat there one day, went in my phone, put it in one folder because it will make your life 10 times easier putting it and streamlining all of that content. And like I said, the most mundane things, it's wild. And then with my old shoots that I wanted to elevate, I have had 20 different hair colors since then. So I'm utilizing AI for ChatGPT. So I would be like, update my hair, update my outfit, freshen it up. And then you can get fresh shoots by milking your old shoots absolutely dry. There also is a program called Kling, and it turns photos into videos. I recommend keeping that under 3 seconds though, because it can go a little bit uncanny valley after that. But then you're getting the most out of B-roll. You're just without really having to do much. You don't have to book a studio. You don't have to book a photographer. I know it's sacrilegious coming from a photographer and a videographer, but again, this is the lazy girl method to get there. And then with the pairing of the text, I would like most of the ones that have gone really well and that have gone well for clients as well is literally just asking. Like my existing audience was following the photographer, whereas me launching this book and not being so much of a photographer anymore and going into this whole different rebrand of myself, the book needed a different girl. So I would literally say, dear algorithm, please bring me the book top girlies or the semi-retired party girls or the black sheep, the eldest daughters. And even though that wouldn't go on my main grid, it was garnering so many new client acquisitions and people on the page basically, and it was converting to more followers. So even though those vanity metrics, which is sometimes your likes and your views, sometimes they're not the most important ones. It is the people that are actually converting and loving what you do. And then with AI, I strongly recommend, because everything is so easily detectable. We're all using AI. We're all using chat. We're all using it for graphics. We're all using it for copy, this, that, the other. In order to humanize it, especially with graphics, I find that graphics is the biggest giveaway these days because it comes up with a million different icons. It has the doodles and the scribbles and everything like that. And it does look aesthetically pleasing, but it can be quite jarring for people that know how to use AI. And they're like, oh, that's made by AI. And it takes the human aspect out of it. Biggest hack that I found is making your graphics in Canva and then putting them in ChatGPT and then putting them into Canva. There is a free tool on Canva called Magic Layers. And when you put that on, it will isolate every single element of that graphic. And then you can delete things out of it. You can change it to your brand colors, because we've all been there where we're asking ChatGPT to change the smallest thing. And then it turns into this completely different rogue outcome where you're like, no, can you please just do this one thing? And then you're sitting there for like 5 hours trying to get this one output. So it's really beneficial just to add that little bit of extra human touch, because you will be saving time in the end there. I think that was, I do have also a full, hold on, let me find it. Sorry, I need a coffee, but I'm not having a coffee at bloody 1 o'clock in the morning. Let me find it. I've got a full, oh, there we go, Google Drive. There we go. I've got a Google Drive link there with a free workbook, which is, oh yeah, sorry, Tara, you are right. For a trial, yeah, you need to have a public account and at least 200 followers. But yeah, trial rules are absolutely amazing in that sense. But with the folder that I've just added in there, guys, download it. Feel free to use it. It's absolutely amazing. And it goes through everything in detail, step by step, of everything that I've just kind of talked about. I didn't realize how fast I talk. And I'm like, am I at 10 minutes? I don't know. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Yeah, but that was pretty much all I wanted to say. Is there any questions when it comes to trial reels or just anything in general. Kling is the AI app that I was talking about.
Yeah, and I put that in the chat, guys. It's Kling for Kling.
Yes.
And I put in, somebody was asking about the trial reels. I put the qualifications in there. It's interesting. So Teagan, I don't know how my account got selected for this. I will just throw that out there. I have no idea how they selected it. Meta ended up reaching out to me for like a private one-on-one coaching session and was kind of telling me this is what you can do to build your account. And he was huge on the trial reels. So she's really very accurate, and that came from Meta themselves. That is really how you can get pushed out to new people. So I do every reel now as a trial reel. If it does really, really well, it will automatically post it to your account. I will tell you that mine that don't even do really, really well, I just still post it to my account. But it's giving you access to people who haven't seen you. That's who we want, right? So you do need to have, if you have a creator account or a business account, you need to have 200 followers. If you're a personal account, which probably nobody here, if you're using your social media for business, you probably are a creator account. So you would only need 200 followers. If it's a personal account, it needs 1,000 in order to have access to that. But once you do, she's right, I would definitely do that. Teagan, I do have a question for you. Do you have any other, because I feel like there's so many AI tools out there right now. Do you guys feel this way? Like there's so many different programs. There's so many different ones for photos, ones for videos, ones to make, your clone, ones to create graphics. What are and even for our other speakers, if you guys have opinions on this, can you put in the chat, like, what are your ones that you recommended, Kling, but what are the ones that you recommend the most?
I love Claude. Claude has been an absolute game changer since it's come out. I do love, I think everything has its own personal place in the AI world and system. Like ChatGPT is absolutely amazing for graphics and photo rendering and all of those kind of things. I think that Kling is great for, utilizing realistic photos into videos. And then Claude's been amazing for, I just did this for a friend actually, but I made her a website just based on her star sign, enneagram, astrology, and she gets an updated version every day just from Claude of me writing that in to produce that website. And then it goes Netafly. I think it's called Netafly. I've got to double check that. But you basically, whatever Claude pushes out website wise in the HTML, you can then upload it into Netafly for free and it will give you a fully fledged website.
Oh, yeah. There's so many different ones out there for sure. So that's good. And so if you're using one, if you're a guest and you're using one that you really like, go ahead and put that in there. Tell us what you're using. I will tell you too, there's something very interesting. I'm just going to pull up our speakers really quick. So first of all, in the chat, put what you took away from Teagan. What did you love? What was your aha moment? What was something that really like connected with you? I know we are just at top of the hour, so very quick. If you need to hop off, that is okay. You are going to get the replay, so you'll have that. Let me show you really quick how to save the chat. And then if you are looking to be a member of our community, that is the link to get started. A couple of things. When you join, it locks you in at the pricing that you come in on. So when the pricing changes, you will never actually pay more. So that's number one for you to know. Also, if you are a member, can you do me a favor and in the chat, tell us what you love most about being part of Hey Girl You Can. So if you are a current member, just put in there like, why is this a community that you choose to hang out in? What have you gotten from it? And then also we do now have an affiliate program. So you can actually make recurring income when you refer people to our community. And so if you want info on that, you can just message me, DM me. I'll send you a link. You can sign up to be to be an affiliate. Okay. Couple quick things. This is how you save the chat. And so I am going to ask all of our speakers, if you could just go ahead and drop your info in again, just because we did have more people who were kind of dropping in and coming in and out. And I just want to make sure everybody has access to be able to connect with you and your offers and how they can work with you. Also, please put for our speakers, if you can put your favorite place that you hang out on social media. Guys, one of the best things that we can do, these speakers showed up, they gave their time for free. Okay. This was a free panel for you to be able to get access to their wisdom. So here's how you can pay them. Go give them some digital currency, some digital love. Go find them on Instagram. Go find them on Facebook. Go find them on LinkedIn. Share a post they wrote. Like a post. Make a comment on it. It's one of the ways that as women, we can support each other in our businesses. But they're here giving you their best stuff, right? So this is how you can kind of pay them back for that. So here's how you can save your chat. Right next, if you've never done this before, right next to where it says in the chat what to post on social media to actually grow your business, you'll see there's 3 little dots. When you click on those 3 little dots, a box will pop up. It'll say save chat. You can click on save chat. It'll save it then into your laptop. It'll actually pull up. Once you hit save chat, it'll pull up and I'll say like, here's where the chat is saved. You can either click on that right now and open it and it will take you off of the Zoom onto the saved chat. Or if you can't find it, which I often do, is I will save it and then I'm like, where did it go? You can just go into your computer, go into like your, hard drive under where your computer is and type in Zoom or Zoom chat and it'll pull up the Zoom chat. And this way you'll have access to all of that. Okay. And then of course you'll get an email in the next few days that will have the replay. It'll have their links and all of that kind of stuff if you didn't grab something or if you're not sure how to save it. So don't worry about that. I do want to give our speakers a chance, just if anybody has any pressing questions that you're like, I absolutely need an answer to this before we hop off because it's going to stop me from being able to implement, please go ahead and put that in the chat right now. And also I would love to know, and I think this will be valuable for our speakers, what is the one thing, remember we talked about taking something from each speaker, but then choosing one thing to implement, because what happens is if you have a list of this is all the things that I'm going to do, you probably won't do any of them. But if you have one thing that you're going to do in the next 24 hours, just one thing that you're going to implement, we want to know what is that. Okay. If you are looking to network and connect, we do have a networking event coming up next month. If you want to know what's going on in Hey Girl You Can and you're not a member, the best way to find out is to follow us on Eventbrite. That'll give you access to our networking events. And when we have channels like this, you'll get an email notification. And then again, our training next month is going to be referrals and really learning how to build a system in place so that you have referrals. But I do want to give people a chance to ask questions, and speakers, if you need to hop off because it is at the top of the hour, nobody will be offended by that. The quiz, people like the quiz. Okay, great. Let's see. I learned so much from all the speakers. I love this. Quiz generator. Okay, great. Reminder to tailor AI generated graphics to keep things human. Oh, this is what I was also going to say. Interesting study. So I'm a Gen Xer. I want to attract millennials and Gen Zs. My daughter's a Gen Z. I use AI and then I think I'm super trendy and cool, right? Like here I am embracing technology. I'm using AI. Do you know that they have just done research with Gen Zs and people who are creating these AI generated ChatGPT flyers or very heavy AI generated like marketing? They don't want to do business with those brands. They literally are turned off from it. And here's what the research found, which made me laugh even more. The Gen Zs and some millennials said that when they see these AI generated flyers, when they see heavy AI generated marketing, it makes them think the brand or the business is lazy. And that's why they don't want to do business with them. And I was totally laughing because my daughter's 20 and I'm thinking all the Gen X's and boomers are like, you guys are so lazy, right? And here they are, they're turning around going, you guys are lazy. You're using Canva to like make your flyer. So this was a real eye opener for me because my Facebook is flooded. Everything from real estate agents to direct sales people to coaches flooded with AI flyers. And I use AI flyers, but I'm really starting to scale back, tweak them. So I love, Teagan, your idea of taking it and putting it in Canva and being able to tweak that. I think that's really relevant. I was reminded of the study when you were saying that, because you don't want it to be where somebody doesn't even look at your flyer because she instantly goes, AI next, AI next. And if you're not like, we may not be super aware of AI, but I'll say we just went to go see a movie. I thought the movie was fabulous. And we had a bunch of teenagers with us and like Gen Zs, 20-year-olds, right? And when we left, I was like, oh, that movie was so great. And you know what some of them said is, there was so much AI, it just turned me off. And I went, wait, there was AI. This is me, right? There was AI in the movie? And then they're like, dude, couldn't you tell that like all of those scenes were AI generated? And I was like, no. But they're so much more aware of it. So we just have to really think of that if we're marketing to that demographic, if that's who we're trying to attract. Okay. So, okay, great. Signed up for Jen's next networking meeting. Yes, connect with her. And again, if you came in late, Jen is in Denver and she does a lot of in-person events. So if you have an opportunity to get in her space, like, physically in her space, one-on-one, definitely want to reach out to her and do that. Implementing the acronym for my weekly posts. I love that. Impact and income really resonated with a lot of people. Feel too old to understand. Okay, so we're going to work on some of your mindset stuff on that. So Jen has some resources to reach out to her. Her next event she posted. Great. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. I hope you implement your one thing. If you do, message me, email me, tell me what your one thing was, or reach out to the speaker. There's nothing better than hearing from somebody, hey, I learned something from you, I implemented, and this is how it helped me. Like, you will make their day, I promise. So reach out to that speaker. And speakers, thank you so much for your time, for your expertise, for showing up. I know when you show up, you give your all. And so I really appreciate you. And I truly hope that the universe gives you back in the next week 10 times what you gave us. I really believe that when you show up, that the universe blesses you, your own businesses, your own opportunities, all the blessings that you gave everybody here today. So thank you guys for being here. I hope you see you inside Hey Girl You Can. Now go out, change the world. I will leave you with the last quote that if you've ever been in my space, you hear me say this all the time. This is my prayer for you. It's by Irma Bombach. It is the quote that I live by. It's in my office. I read it every day. When I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of talent left, and I could say that I used everything you gave me. That is my prayer for you, that you go use up all your talent, bless the world with all the gifts that God gave you, and make this day a great day. Bye, everybody.